Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, that Studebaker, too bad it ended up being a dud. But I think I'd take you along just to kind of go see what it's like, how I chase things. And that was more about what the video was about, I guess. That was someone who I did some work on her snowblower. She saw my buses and said my dad has an old Studebaker in the garage. You may want to get rid of it for a few $100. And I said, after you pick it up, I'll follow you over to go check it out. And that's what that was. That's how that came about. I get that quite often. I'd say probably 10 times a year or so, maybe once a month, that kind of thing. As far as that extent pops up, 2 out of the 10 is good, I'd say. So, but you got to look. You never know what you're going to go find. So that's what that was. And that still may even come true. If I get it for a couple $100, I'll drag it out there, put it on a trailer, clean it up, and just flip it the way it is. Say for $1,000. But we'll see. They don't want to deal. He doesn't want to deal with it now. He's 85 years old, and he said he was crabby. He didn't feel like talking or doing anything at the moment. So come back later, kind of thing. So that's on that guy. I did go do a bunch of I want to say call it yard sailing. I went to actually on Saturday yesterday it's called Star Speedway. It's a midget racetrack, and they have their swap meet, fall, I guess you call it, swap meet. And I went down there. I didn't find much. I found a little bit of stuff, but I did better on my way home. But the one thing I did find down there was a Springer fork setup. I know it's cruddy looking, for a 20, looks like a 20-inch rim. But I just want it for the rocker components and whatnot, and I actually may make something different out of it. But it's actually the same setup that I have on the board track spring. That kind of looks like Columbia, don't it? Yeah. And yeah, good luck with that. I picked it up, I turned it over, I saw the price tag, I put it down, I started laughing, and the guy that was running the thing, he goes, I told him he can't get that for it. And because yeah, it's rare. I go, yeah, it's a rare rusty piece of shit. And he goes, I think he'd take $25 for it. And I said to him, how about $20? So I grabbed it for $20 just for the components and the rockers alone. If I had to recreate those, basically every kind of suspension front end on a bike, you kind of have to have something like that with some good pivots. So I think that's what's going to be for. And I want to do a leaf spring kind of setup, so this can go out to the end of the leaf spring and have the bend to it. So that's that guy. And the only other thing I really got was you get the vendors that sell all the stuff, and what they do is like this is probably restaurant supply or something like that. That when the rags get too ratty, they drop them off and pick them up. They just one last time they go and they sell them, and they'll have defects or tears or whatever in them. You can see that one a little tattered on the bottom. But they sell bags of them for $30 a bag, and there's probably, I'm gonna guess there's 200 in there. I already took a stack about that thick out of there and give to the wife for inside the house. So I just use them and throw them away. Pretty much cheaper than paper towels, and they're tougher, So that's another good thing I got from that. But on the way home, I went to the diner, and then a friend of mine called me and said there was a free tractor on the side of the road. So I went to go pick that up where he said it was, and on the way there, this snowblower was also on the side of the road. The guy just put it out. Was out there for about 10 minutes. He was out there blowing some leaves around, and it had a price tag of $50 on it. And it's a modern 9-horse, 29-inch cut Craftsman snowblower. So up and running, it's a good, $400 snowblower. And he said what happened was he got it from someone that the coil had ripped itself off of. And that's the major problem of it. So he took it apart, and he pretty much didn't know what to do with it. Here's the original coil. You see how bad it got damaged and bounced around in there and twisted. What I think happened was, there's the mounts. You can see the mounts are busted. I think what happened was it was probably frozen. Probably had water in it. It was frozen to it, and then they hit the electric start, and the electric start kicked over, and it just got caught up probably in one of the tines and just bent the crap out of it and broke these two guys off. So, he figured it needed a new block because it's got standoffs on it, and you see how they're broken off, and they're actually kind of a little bent a little bit. But if you look at them close, see how far back in the block before they hit the cylinder they go? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut them flush to where the brake is not there anymore. Cut it, cut it, put two, I'm going to drill it a little further in, probably get about 1 inch of threads, and put a stud in it and let the stud stick out, and then put the coil on it with spacers. I'll have to make new spacers up. Actually, it has, that's how much spacer it already had, so it'll probably be, you know, again, to there, that much of a spacer in between. But it doesn't touch anything, it just sits there, and there's no mechanical, nothing's wrenching on it, you know, except a little magnetic pull. But anyway, so if I can cut those back, put studs on them, and rebolt them through, and then that's it. It's good to go. That should cure it. So I think it'd be a good fix. I want my scrounging pile. I did find this coil, and it's just the top end is taller, but everything else looks the same. So I think that's going to be what goes on in its place. And the only other thing that was missing was the electric start. Somebody stole the electric start off of it, and not that that was too big of a deal. But if you want to sell it for any kind of money, it's got to have all the bells and whistles with it. So I went back in the hoard in the back shed, and apparently sometime during the summertime I bought a Tecumseh electric start. It says $2 on it, so you know I either paid $1 for it or it was in the free pile, and it's got the plug on top for it. So that will put electric start back on that machine. Alright, so that was that guy for $50. I'm happy with that. This is the tractor. It was on the side, it had a big old sign taped to the side of it. Back two tires were flat, you could tell they dragged it out of where it was, and they dragged it up to the corner of an intersection and put the sign on. It was a fairly busy intersection too. And there's the tractor. It also came with the bagger assembly with the 2 bags and all the pieces. Came with a plow blade, which I'm surprised somebody just didn't stop, pull over and grab the plow blade. And then in here is a spare belts, there's a spare oil filter, there's the chains, the wheel weights, all the bits and pieces are there for that tractor. And so I started doing my preliminary test when I come home. I just filled up the tires that were still in the truck, so it rolled out of the truck better. And then I was gonna go get the battery charger, go start charging the battery up, see what I get. And for shits and giggles, just like I am right now, I turn the key, and I'm hearing the click, and I go, well, the battery's got something in it. And I hopped on it. I'm not gonna do it now. And the thing cranked right over. No. So all right, the gas tank's empty. Didn't want to go put gas in it because I know I got to clean the fuel system. Yeah, it's a typical tractor. It looks like it's been sitting in crap forever. But I popped the air cleaner off, dumped a little bit of fuel on it. The thing just fired right up and sounded normal, and the oil looked good and everything. So I think with a good bath and cleaning, this will be a good up and running tractor. And I think it's a 2002 on this, so you know it's a decent, it's a, what's it, it's a 4000 LT 4000, I believe, somewhere on it says. Make me a liar, right? Yeah, there we go. So, you know, front tires don't look dry rotted. The back ones were low on air, have a little bit of dry rot, but they're not flat this morning, and that's generally a good sign. As long as they hold air for about a month or two, that's about what you can hope for. You know, if they go flat like in a day, then you got to do something about them and change them. But so far, so good. So that'll go back on the truck, and I'll bring it down to the car wash and pressure wash all the crap off of it and service that one. And on the way home from that, there was a yard sale. And the guy had some stuff out, and he says, "You're the guy on the corner that sells all this stuff." I'm like, "Yes, I am." Because I have an old snowblower out back. That was my mother's or mother-in-law's or whatever, and she now doesn't use it anymore. But it's one of those Toro 2-stroke jobbers. And again, this one's I'm going to call it fairly new. I think it's probably a 2002 also. It's a 7-horse. The electric start does not work. We already went through this one and serviced it. It's got the little tire rubber on it that propels it and throws the snow. And what you do is you squeeze the handle down, you'll watch, let's see if we can get you all in the same shot. See how it pivots the whole thing? So what that does is it makes it have contact with the ground, and then the rubber pulls it along. So that just needed a good servicing as far as cleaning the carb. Basically the float bowl was full of the two-stroke oil. The gas evaporates and it just leaves the oil behind, and then that stuff's like thick as mud. You can't suck it up even after you put gas in behind it. So clean that out. It runs nice. That one's good to go. And that one I paid $100 for it, but I figured it didn't need that much work, so it would be a good seller, probably at about $250, $300. That's those guys. That's my hunts for the weekend. I guess we'd call it yard sale finds or free finds or whatever, but that's what I've been up to. I love YouTube. I love Google, we should say. Google Plus. Yeah, aren't they nice to throw a wrench in everything? But I'm not going to go on a rant about that, but it just seems like anytime somebody makes a good product that somebody likes, somebody else comes along and buys it and tries cutting it up for the pieces of it, and basically just really destroys something. So we're gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna leave it at this. You Dizzy hooked me up with a sticker and put that up on the cabinet of YouTube Garage Gang. Again, guys, thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing. Take care. Bye.